Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Chad. Back here on some more Cold War. So they ended up coming out and fixing the bundle here for the lance head, the crossbow. I actually don't know what happens if I buy it again in the store, but yeah, they apparently had released the weapon regularly now. Back on my other PC, you guys wouldn't even notice, but yeah, yesterday I managed to actually get my PC working. Actually, the day before that at night, I decided to, just grab the other PC that was, giving me issues before, the upgraded one, and I couldn't figure out the issues with it or whatever. Since I had free time and I didn't want to play any Warzone or anything, I decided, hey, I'm gonna try to get this thing to work again. And I plugged it all back in. It's actually sitting right over here next to the other PC now, so it isn't as crazy of a hassle when I try to mess with it. But I had it working virtually all of yesterday. I mean, all of yesterday. I did everything I possibly could. I did practice renders, little test runs for videos, everything. I troubleshot all the problems I was having before with, the cooling. I didn't know what was going on with that. I ended up fixing that. It was fine. I was also having this weird thing where I randomly couldn't hear anybody in, like, any of the calls that I'm in or anything like that, even though I could hear regular audio. I just couldn't speak in the microphones. I couldn't do any of that stuff, but I figured that all out. It was weird settings and stupid shit and resetting and all that. And after spending an entire day using it with basically not many, hiccups here and there, you got some hiccups here and there or whatever, but generally it was working. I was like, okay, I can definitely make content on this, so I'm gonna do it tomorrow. And I don't know what happened. One of the times I restarted my PC, out of nowhere, all of the fans on the entire case just do not work anymore. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9 fans in this case. And whenever I go to start the PC, none of the fans spin. I mean, everything starts up, but I need those fans to spin. Otherwise, we're back to, cooling issues 101. Now, given, I know that you don't technically need a case for, the system itself. If you leave the case open and everything, it's fine. It can breathe. The issue, though, is that the actual cooler, the cooling thing that's sitting on my CPU, those fans aren't spinning either. So the cooling liquid that those fans are cooling to go to my CPU, those fans aren't spinning, so the liquid, over just a few minutes will get warmer and warmer and warmer until eventually it's no longer cooling, and it will just shut off from being too hot. So I cannot put that PC under load at all anymore. So some people are like, oh, dude, try to, unplug and replug the fans out of the PC. Now, here's the thing. I don't think I even did it right, unplugging and replugging them. But after I did that, the front power button on my PC literally doesn't work anymore. I can turn it on by actually just pressing it on my motherboard itself. It turns on. I can do that. That's fine. The case is open. But obviously, yeah, that's an issue. So my front power button isn't working, but I can turn the PC on anyway. That's not the biggest issue. Biggest issue is that my cooling, I think it's 280 millimeters or 360 millimeters. 3 fans. I think all of the fans on the case are 4-pin. Yeah, if anybody has any answers as to why your fans wouldn't start up whenever, you start your PC up, just let me know. I guess. I don't know. I might have the energy and willpower to try to fix it again. Who knows? I'm back on old reliable here. It's fine. The issue before when I was messing with it was I couldn't hear anything and none of the cooling was working, or it didn't seem like it was. My CPU was getting really hot even though all the fans were spinning and everything. I figured out that whole situation. I was able to control the fans, get a hold of that and everything, start cooling it to the best of its ability. That shit under no load with, just maximum cooling, that shit would sit in the 30s, 40s. The coolest my PC's ever ran. Runs way cooler than this PC that I'm currently using, but all of a sudden the fans just stopped working. I don't know what the deal is. Fans just stopped. I can't recall anything in particular that would send it that way, other than potentially overheating, and then now the fans are not turning on, so I don't know. So besides all that disappointment, I mean, when it happened, I was just kind of like, yeah, figures. It's only a matter of time until things just are not going my way. It did the same thing similarly before, where I had an entire day where it was working fine, and then out of nowhere, I just run into an issue right before I start, making content on it, and yeah, it just doesn't work. Works, I don't want to keep damaging that CPU, so I don't know, man. I don't know why it's happening. I went on to, like, some threads and stuff like that, talking about why, it could possibly be that my fans just don't work. Some people are talking about, like, a blown header or something. I don't even know what the fuck that means. The only thing that I can think of is that the PC could have restarted from heat, and heat at most, the highest degree I saw on there was, like, 85. Like, that's getting hot, for sure. But nothing that would do some ridiculous or substantial amount of damage to it. I'm not gonna keep running it you know, letting it get hot if it's, you know, none of the fans are running. So I don't know. Like, some people are really telling me, you know, try to find where the fans are connected and unplug, replug them, but I don't know where the fuck they're plugged in at. I'm stupid. I guess I could take the back side of the case off and try to figure out where all these wires go, but all the wires are so tight and like set in place that like I'm afraid to touch anything. And fuck all that shit about sending it back and then getting it back later after it's all fixed. Yeah, just for me to like, you know, start it all up and then within a couple days some stupid shit happens again. Like, it just seems like anything with AMD is just, I've never had these issues with Intel ever in my life. I have been through multiple Intel PCs and multiple AMD PCs at this point, and AMD PCs have been replaced due to actual issues. Intel ones I actually just upgraded. They were working perfectly. I never seen this shit in my life until I started fucking with AMD. Now, obviously, this could just not be AMD related, but that's what I'm gonna go with in my head. We don't need to capture it. They can win if they want. That's the good shit right there, boys. Just sit right there in the window. Don't even bother capturing it. Let them end the game. Is that trophy system literally blowing things up from the bottom floor?
GG, little cocksuckers.
No point in trying here. This game's dead as fuck. Oh, what? No one wants to reply to the game being dead? No? Okay. I mean, yeah, if anyone has any answers as to why a PC would randomly just have all of the fans within it just stop spinning. My one pump is still going. The pump over top of the CPU. It says the CPU fan and the pump is still going, but the actual cooler fans on top are not spinning. But what happens when I go to buy this? So they actually, it was on my class and they ended up changing the Lancehead over to the R1 Shadowhunter. So what happens when I go to the Shadowhunter shop? Okay, Lancehead is there. Shadowhunter. Okay, it's... Did they ever actually refund me though? Maybe they did. Maybe I'm just remembering incorrectly. I don't recall them actually giving me, but who knows? So yeah, okay, I would have to actually rebuy it in the store now, but the challenge itself, the people that actually completed this challenge, it should have been at 14 of 15, and you just needed to do, you know, one game with 3 one-shot, 1-kill medals, no attachments, and then boom, you got it regularly now. No one really cares about this R1 Shadowhunter though, so it didn't really matter. I mean, I literally got on this just to make a video asking for help, basically. I don't expect to actually get help, to be honest. Usually whenever I mention my computer issues, I usually have tons of people suggest all sorts of shit to me, but you know, I just want the fans to spin, you know what I mean? I was able to crank all the fans up before, got all the cooling to work perfectly fine. Tragedy strikes every time I figure out everything with one of these PCs with this AMD shit. Some new issue just comes out. Like, clearly I just don't know enough about this to even fuck with it, but it's not like I was messing with it. I fixed it. Sure, you could call that messing with it, but I fixed it. Everything was working all day. I made sure for the entire day, I wasn't even gonna try to make a video, just the entire day, I was just gonna use it how I'd regularly use it to see if it will just give me any issues. And sure enough, after, I don't know, 10 to 18 hours, just seamless, perfect performance, it just, all the fans just stopped. I don't know. So, I mean, if anybody has any ways of, you know, starting all of your fans up, I went into the BIOS, I cranked all the fans there. I've gone into other programs within there to change the fan speeds that were working before, by the way. I even uninstalled them just to have the BIOS settings be the ones that are there. I've tried setting all of the fans to DC, setting all the fans to PWM, 3-pin versus 4-pin, whatever. I've tried both of the settings. It just doesn't want to start.